What's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? It's Greg Said It Live here. As y'all see, once again, I'm trying something new. Got a new look, so I'm just playing with another platform. So got to do a different look. I ain't quite branded and all that. Trying to get a feel for it. I like it. Looks pretty crisp. That's one thing I like from my end, at least. Let me know what y'all think. Um, Looks very crisp on my end. Um, Still considering this platform here as far as doing some different stuff. Having some different options. Um, Not just with Greg Said It Live, but some other stuff. So that's really why I'm considering. If I just want to do, you look at my show, I just kind of do different things and get a feel for it. I just been doing some basic stuff with my platforms, looking at, um, just looking at just the lives that I do once a week. Don't do a whole lot of lives. I do videos and I do lives. So, um, I ain't really did a whole lot. I haven't done a lot of. I had a little intro I did. Haven't done a lot of intros, a lot of stuff. And if I want to do it to the next level, I want the platform to do it. I got rid of StreamYard a while back. They just kept going up and up and up, and it was just silly to me. It's what they was going up to when I started off pretty much free and paid, and they just went crazy. And I kind of played with other platforms. It didn't quite do what I want, but like I said, I'm gonna do some different things in the future outside of just some of the content I'm doing and just have the right place. Let me know where y'all at in the chat. Where are you? Here we are. What 10 games down, pretty much for Colorado. 2 more to go. Another bye week, and here we are. I, I think the season gets faster and faster. I think last season was faster than the first. I mean, life surely be life, man. But time is fast and it seems like it's picking up. So a lot of times people rush to get to the season and boom, the junk is halfway gone and it's gone. You're not with a team that's going to be in the postseason. It's not going to be a bowl game. I'm really not big on bowl games at this point because the structure of the FBS now is really not about bowl. They pretty much have a playoff model now. They just kept the bowls, and there's like the leftover teams, and even the bigger bowls are technically part of the playoffs now. Whether you look at Fiesta Bowl, they still part of the playoff. They're not giving that up. So it's not like you still get to go to those big bowls if you're not in the playoff. They go hand in hand. So they added more teams. I think they went up to 12 last year. You got 3 rounds. You got like a quarter, semi, and a final. And I mean, that's what the top bowl is gonna be. I mean, that's where the money gonna be. That's where the eyeball is gonna be. So when you playing the little play bowl games like leading up to it, and because it start earlier. So sometimes even the little play bowls start after the bowl games have already started. So um, I don't really trip about it. You talk about they get more practice, they get this. It's like okay, that's cute. I think in Colorado case this year, they probably could have benefited from more practice. Now that they decided to put a young quarterback in, and he just now really starting to get the reps. But anywho, where y'all at now? What's up with the chat? I got this new platform here. See y'all in the building. Where you at? Where you at? Just make sure this chat is working. I got a lot of little features here that I'm not using today, but I have an option to use. So again, I haven't had the time to really play with it, but yeah, we're gonna be able to do a little something. Where you at, chat? Where are you at? Now this is what I did do. I was wondering, like, you got these little things like, you know, what I'm saying. You got little features like that, so I don't have to go and get like, additional equipment and stuff like that. Round of applause. You got these kind of things. You know, um, you know, I like, that's what I like about this. Like I said, I'm gonna play with this a little more. You got some music, some countdown music. I like the fact that stuff is built into it. What's going on? I like this better than my last one. I'm still comparing it to like StreamYard. What's going on? But yeah. So I really do like this. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, I really do like this. I like the look. Y'all just bear with me. So of course it's very basic right now. No intro video like I had. No logo. Greg said it because I'm really on the free version. Really, honestly, that's why you see the logo on it. But I'm just gonna feel and seeing what they have at this point because I want to be able to do some different stuff. Y'all, what did y'all think about the game? I have mixed feelings about the game. I'm tell you. Some of the other people don't talk about it. Of course, they had an early game. A lot of people jump on. I like to let it settle. For me, get other stuff done. Other games are played. Honestly, Colorado, when they don't play well, because I'm not a big sit around watch football all day guy like some people may be. I'm not trying to watch all the games anyway. If I did, it would be for research purposes dealing with like Colorado, who they gonna play. But when they play like garbage, it gives me no incentive to watch other games. But if you really pay attention, the Big 12 conference has done a whole lot ups and downs as we expected at this point in the season. People losing, some people winning. You saw BYU finally go get their butt kicked. I don't know how they get all the way down to 7th rank. They just show you what's going on in the country as far as football, because how did they get all the way? I know they undefeated, but how did they get in the top 10? And it end up, even Texas Tech was still in the top 10. They lost. They lost again. I think they lost to Arizona State or something like that. So, these folks losing. Houston lost to Virginia, who we just played, and West Virginia, and they almost let UCF get them. I think they played like a Friday or something like that. I appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you. So it's just like we thought. Our state won 1-0. They let us kind of cook up on it, but I think everybody can play the spoiler. And I almost like, see, you can play a spoiler to Arizona State at this point. That's all they can do. We don't know what don't happen to doggone Kansas State. I ain't heard from them in a while. I don't know if it's true that Dylan Edwards want to get back in the portal. And I don't know what was going on with that. That is, a lot about Colorado too. He so loved Colorado, Coach Prime. When you lose people like him, that really hurt the program because it creates a lot of confusion. And he's a core player. You let him play as a freshman, and then he take off. And now he's taking off again. And like people don't tell the whole truth, and that's fair. Just like with Hood, you see your boy Hill Green is playing decent. How he making plays. Players like that make a difference on your team. When you keep talking about, Coach Prime always talked about in the past having a few dogs. 7 guys on the that you can depend on, or maybe on both sides of the ball, whatever. But when you lose players in key positions, now losing Block Bullet hurt because Block Bullet was the difference between last year and the year before. Not getting gushed all up the middle. Block Bullet absorbed a lot of blocks. If you didn't block him, he was going to disrupt your middle. So he took away 2-3 blocks in the middle. Both of them guards had to keep an eye on him. And that allowed to run the linebackers, to kind of move a little bit and see better. Because they got to come after Block Bullet. Block Bullet clog it up, and there wasn't no, lanes up the middle. Hill Green actually having a true linebacker. He's the only true linebacker Colorado has really had, far as skill, experience, and size. Hill Green wasn't a guy that do like these linebackers do. Yeah, he wasn't the most athletic, but was Ray Lewis, really, especially in his later years. He was bigger. He wasn't as athletic, but he played the position well, and he would hit you. And that's what you want out of your Mike linebacker. He's not really the guy you worry about out in coverage like that, especially you got the right scheme. I'll move my other guy around. That's the case. You get the right scheme for your personnel. But one thing about Hill Green was he went to that ball, and when he went down, he hit you. These boys here, man, the way all of them play, I've never seen it in my life. It's all that cute stuff, man. It's a showboat. But it's like, I've never seen guys who, all the players play like DBs. Like, all the linemen reach for the man and tackle and pull the man down like like they some type of, everybody dive at the man's feet. They reach first. They don't run through you with their body. They don't run through you with their helmet and shoulder pads. They reach first. And it got a lot to do with their practice. I'm going to talk about it 100 times. But I never thought I'd see the day where the defensive linemen and the linebackers tackle the same way as the safeties and cornerbacks. They tackle finesse. They tackle the reach. They swipe it. I watched Preston Hodge and them guys come up and swing at the man's feet with their hands instead of running. They right there, and they'd rather clip them up with their hand than to hit them with the shoulder pads and helmet. It's bothersome to see you guys in the trenches. They pulling guys down and slinging them down. They ain't hitting nobody. The physicality is not. That's totally on Coach Prime. I'm sorry, that's totally on him and how he run his program. But Hill Green come from another program. He didn't come with that mess. Hood came from another program. He's slamming folks. He the only DB that's out there slamming folks and hitting folks and jacking them up. The physicality, he had that last year as a what you call a red shirt freshman, because he red shirted over at Auburn. He brought a physicality that he had in him. He took it to Tennessee, and now he's been acknowledged as one of the top cornerbacks in the country. You had these guys on your team who you didn't have to coach. Like you had Travis Hunter. You didn't have to coach him. You didn't get Travis Hunter where he was. You recruited Travis Hunter. You didn't grow him into what he was. So when you look at it, you didn't have to coach that guy. He had natural instinct, jump routes. You give him advice. You help him from that standpoint. You not grooming him. You had Hood, who you put behind DJ McKinney. He should have started over DJ, but even when Travis was out, it should have been a no-brainer. Hood was in there. It's like they held their breath to put him in there. That's why I feel like they lost that game against Kansas State, because they just refused to keep that boy out there. Hood was a baller every time he got in the game. Yeah, I mean, they don't hold no line, man. What is a goal line or it's 4th and 1 or whatever, every team gonna go for it because they know they're gonna get at least 2 yards. It's rare that Colorado will stop them. It's rare. It's like a misassignment or something. Since we here, like, you lose a Hill Green, you lose a Travis Hunter, you lose a Hood, who could have been a fixture coming back if you treated him like he was the D1, he's the number 1 player like you do the other guys. If you had him there, now you ain't got this cornerback shuffle like you've had all year. And injuries are not as detrimental, because yesterday they had 2 cornerbacks that wasn't starters. One had a whole club on his hand. I ain't never seen so many clubs on hands in my life. This team, half the team look like they got clubs on their hand. You got a DB with a club on his hand, a safety with a club on his hand, an offensive lineman with a club. I've never seen so many clubs in my life. I guess it gets you on the field, but to be at a DB, it's at a disadvantage. And they still calling him for holding, which we'll get into. He gets out there and he playing DB. That's how scarce you are. And I feel like the DBs, maybe because who they were playing, did a fairly good job. It wasn't the DBs that lost the game yesterday. And we'll get into that. Because I think the average person, maybe they look at the stats or maybe they look at other people talk. They don't really see what's right in front of them. Because the score looked identical, but the game didn't, right? But they still lost. They still only scored 22 points. Yet the quarterback put 300 yards in the air with 2 touchdowns thrown, right? So what happened, really? How do you still lose when you perform better? How do you lose when your quarterback put the ball in? We'll get into that. But one thing I say about the defense, it got to be schemed, because like I watched Livingston pull both of his linebackers and bring them off the edge like they're edge rushers and leave the middle of the field open. And every team you have played at will, throwing slants and in routes and really just throwing the ball. Yesterday, they just really had a good time throwing the ball up the seam, just straight up the seam. They just found windows. They just jog up the seam window, because it's just a freaking great plains in the middle of the field. The whole middle of the field is open. Your safeties is over top, sitting way back, which we've been talking about for really years at this point. Sitting 20, sitting like 30 yards. They back paddling. They already back, and then they back paddling. They all the way back. Your corners are in man. Your linebackers are nowhere to be found. You really got just free for all everything in the middle of the field when it comes to passing. There's nothing you can't do to convert. They have no problem with going for 4th down after 4th down. It's going to be there. Your DBs never take away the inside. The slant is always there. Anything, as long as the quarterback can get it there. And you seen yesterday, maybe a couple times, the quarterback panic a little bit, or the guy would drop the ball. We've seen that with Iowa State. They dropped plenty of balls. It was there. The slant is always there with these guys. Because this doggone silly coordinator, he bring his linebackers off the edge who never get home. Off the edge, at least. You already got your edge rushers out there who's supposed to be elite, young, old, whatever, and you put your linebackers on the outside, and you leave lanes galore for the quarterback to take off running straight up the middle. All you got to do is find a lane, and nobody's going to be there. And you wonder why all the quarterbacks, freshmen, you name it, they don't play 3-4 freshmen at this point, and they just take off running. If they need a first down, they can just take off running because you're undisciplined, silly linemen running all around. You got your edge rushers running too far, and your doggone linebackers, they just standing around out there on the edge, looking around, and he just take off running straight up the middle of the field. Straight up the middle of the field. Because your linebackers are nowhere to be found. Your safety's got to always come up and make a hit 20, 30 yards down the field. They just do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's true. That's true, especially that what hurt them was the first quarter. They did absolutely nothing in the first quarter offensively. But neither did West Virginia. So it's like, I always use this saying, it's kind of like interpreted by me when I play ball and people get to fight and everybody run around like it's a freaking show, which that's one thing. And then you don't really put on for the client. They watching you don't put on for them, and they say something like, "Boy, one of them scared and the other one glad they scared." That's how Colorado played, and it just irritated me because I feel like both of them played garbage football in that first quarter, probably even first half. I mean, it was like Colorado say, you get the game. And West Virginia like, no, you take the game. You get the game. I hate watching football like that. I hate to win like that. Yeah, you won, but you don't feel like a win. That what Coach Brian said. You ever won, but you didn't feel like you win? That's all he say when he was winning. That he never could. I don't know what wins he could really enjoy. Out his whole time in Colorado, maybe 2 or 3 of the wins out of the 13 he had, he could enjoy. Because that whole first year, every win he had, you ever felt like when you win, with your loss, because the team had a slow start or they didn't finish a game, he can't enjoy it. That's how I feel watching two teams play, and both of them just playing like hot garbage. Like both of them just kind of like, both of them making mistakes and keeping the other team in the game. And you be like, what am I watching here? That's what it was like watching yesterday in the beginning. West Virginia punting, Colorado go do nothing, they punt. And then, I know they both had freshmen, but it was like, you really felt like you were watching two, like 3-7 or, two teams of the same caliber. I felt like, when I first watched them, I said, boy, they don't make they twin. It was not enjoyable to watch. And then after a while, Colorado gave up that doggone safety on the block punt. The Ben or whoever, it had to be Ben, pointed right at the man. They pointed at him twice. There you go. And then he jump up in the line. How dumb is you? You jump up in the line and bury your head in the back of one of your linemen and let the man you just pointed at run straight and block the ball. You were too cowardly to go and you're back there. You're back behind the line for one to read and to be additional assistance for those blitzes or whatever. Instead of taking your butt out there and block the man that you pointed to, you chose to run up behind your man and bury your head behind him and let the man come right down and block the punt. That's the kind of weak crap I'm talking about. That's just like you was there and you saw him and you chose to hide from him, avoid him. You didn't try to block that man. You didn't try to slow that. That's why that punt got blocked. And so that's where everything really shifted. Because you turned around, you got the ball blocked, safety, you kick the ball off, and then you go let them score. Now they up 9-0, right? Then you turn around. I think what happened after that? What, Colorado might have got a field goal or something like that? Let me pull this crap up. You think Colorado might have got what was 3-9 at that point? I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up because it was really silly. Up to that point, about the second quarter, it was nothing really going on, right? So I'm gonna pull it up. Colorado versus West Virginia stats. So yeah, it was 9-0 in the first quarter. Just like I just said, how it went 9-0. Colorado did absolutely nothing. Then second quarter, Colorado got a field goal, so then it was 9-3, and then they end up scoring later on, and Mata missed the field goal. So, but that was after. Boom, boom, boom. West Virginia got another touchdown and another field goal. So basically, you go into halftime 19-9. And before I say that, I'm just gonna go on off and be who I am, right? Then you look at the fact that, okay, at one point it was 9-16 going into halftime, and these silly referees let West Virginia hold out there on the perimeter all day long, snatching people, let them get down there. Then gave a penalty. The quarterback got sacked, 3rd and long. Colorado, just like I've watched for the last 3 years, y'all. The quarterback got sacked, and I think it was Barnes or Otis. The quarterback was falling down. He reached out, his hand touched the side of the helmet. We watched it in freaking slow motion. And as he was falling, his arm was still out and touched his face mask. He didn't make the tackle, nor did he ever grab the face mask. And they called roughing the passer, face mask, to put them boys in field goal position. So this is what ended up happening. Not only did Colorado not have a chance to get the ball back and possibly go down there and score and get a field goal themselves, but you extended the drive once again and gave them a field goal right before halftime to put Colorado down 19-9. So at worst, Colorado should have went in 19 to 16 if they didn't do nothing with the ball, because they was gonna have to punt because they was out of field goal range. You gave them a 15-yard penalty on 3rd down. Now, this is where the clowns come in, and maybe they're not here because they're not in the chat. I see the numbers picking up. This I don't know how well this system communicates. I know Cleveland is playing. Woo woo woo. You come in when you come in. I'll be gone in a minute anyway. But let me tell you, I'm the one who pointed out. Let me say this nice for sensitive folks and for ignorance. I'm a person who, I see both sides. I'm not here to be a bozo to clown like folks and dog Colorado out. Nor am I a doggone blind fool to sit up here and act like Colorado do no wrong. I'm Greg said it. Nobody ain't paying me a doggone thing. You don't control me. You don't run me. Your comments don't scare me. Nothing about you. Don't get it twisted. In the screen, off the screen. Now, don't get yourself twisted because you're watching a little channel you think you know. You don't know nobody. You don't know nobody. And I ain't a fool trying to know you. You sure don't know me. So I'm going to tell you what it is. Now, I did this to tell it what it is. It is what it is. Now, Colorado did some dumb mess. Can't tackle worth for crap. They ain't tackled all year. That ain't nothing new. Play calling suspect. How you look at it, especially defensively. Offense is stood up in the air. Execution is a problem, all of that. But it's one thing, you're not going to tell me to ignore it. Just because somebody did wrong, that don't mean that they deserve to be wrong. Colorado has a thing that I've been pointing out for the last 3 years, 3 seasons, that when them boys play, them referees manipulate these games. Now, y'all don't see me on other shows, be watching all that. I'm not the one who's ignorant to the fact that games are controlled. If that's your issue, that's yours. I know that it happens at the pro level. And, I also know that, it could happen. It do happen on, shaving points or, meeting the money lines, all this stuff. I know it's there. It's been going on for decades. So I don't know to what degree and why, but I watched Colorado games. I watched them when they stole the game from them when they played Utah when Stark was playing. I watched them manipulate the games the whole first season. How they end up in 4-8 was because of the fact that they would put Colorado in situations just like this, where every time Colorado did play decent and get a stop, they would throw a penalty. Roughing the passer. The guy bumping to him, trying to roughing the passer. As soon as they somebody pushing each other at the end of the play, and somebody pushing your player, then their player pushing back like they did Travis Hunter in the Stanford game. The Stanford game was over. As bad as they played, the Stanford game was over. But they watched that boy push and pull Travis on the first game back. He bullied and pushed Travis all after play. They didn't call that guy one time. How he was taunting and pushing Travis around and just being a bully, a jerk. Travis don't even play like that. And yes, Travis pushed him back one time, and they called a penalty for it. And it was 3rd and long, and it was a sack. Every time they did something, it was a penalty that always put the other team to give them the chance to win the game. It was always a penalty that always gave them a chance to get that field goal to tie or take the lead late in the game. Look at all them games. I don't know where y'all come from, where y'all been. Look at all them games where it don't matter what Colorado did. You play sorry too, probably enough played. We know that the Colorado make mistakes. We talking about when they finally make the plays to get off the field, it was always some miraculous penalty show up. It was always a holding, a pass interference. When you look at the play, you be like, they both was touching each other. How you calling on him? It did the ball. He didn't interfere with nothing. It's a judgment call. Always happen. It's a holding that you can call every play, but you never call it the other way. Colorado, who their opponents, is not getting points taken off the board at critical points in the game for holdings that you can call every play, especially when it's one-sided. I'm watching people doggone snatch people and they get long runs on our edge rushes and on the doggone on our cornerbacks and on Hood when he come up. These are the things that we looked at. That was a problem. They never called it. So what do you do? What do you do? I think sometimes it make people kind of shut down or whatever. I don't know. It don't take away nothing. They're not gonna call it. I'm not gonna get too much into that. It's a problem. It is a problem. I'm sitting here, y'all. Now to Juju Lewis. Do they have a future with Juju Lewis? I was the one that said Juju was going to play. I was the one that said Juju was going to perform. Here we go. I ain't going to spend a lot of time here. They lost 22 to 29. 29? Yeah. And was it Juju? Yeah, he didn't do much first quarter. All those different things. But at the end of the day, he threw 300 yards. He performed. The only thing you can do at this point is use it as a recruiting tool to get him a line, because that line was hot garbage. Now, can you say Salter performed whatever? Salter did this, Salter did that. Absolutely. Salter was great at scrambling, but he couldn't throw the ball down the field. He missed a lot of opportunities. His progressions was horrible. You got all these different things that Salter didn't do that well. And maybe you can say Juju had a play. Who knows? It's foresight at this point. I could say you should have played him from the jump. He would have been better now. He would give you a better chance to win. But it's hard to say when your defense is playing the way they playing. It's hard to say when your defense is playing the way they playing. They very inconsistent. They very unfundamental. They don't play that well. They don't play that well. So I'm gonna say this, because I'm torn. Part of me be like, Juju, get on, go get a real program, get a real coordinator. You go do all that. The other part of me is like, if Colorado want to keep him, they need to build everything around him, get every lineman they can get, top seed they can get. But they got some real issues. They got some issues with coaching. They got some issues with, they ain't proven they can get a good line yet. They ain't proven that all these different coordinators that they can get him what he need yet. Why should he risk his career? That's what I look at if I was a parent or whatever. Like, why should he risk it when he can go somewhere else? With that being said, he has a future at Colorado. Colorado can get him the platform, the stage, or whatever. But what you gonna get him? What you gonna give Jordan Seaton? Why should he stay? Why should they be the only good guys? And just that's what happened to Shador, but Shador was there with his dad. What are you gonna do? When you sit up here and absolutely, man. And I'm not, I'm not a clown. You see what I'm saying? When I say something, I know what I'm doggone saying. You see, so I'm glad y'all get to see. Like, it's one or two things you got going on. You put a guy in like that at this point that you went and got as a 5-star. He's the biggest recruit you have had at that position probably ever, and you sold him to come there. Now you benched him. Now you put him in and you hold him back. Why would he stay? And what does that look like for you as a recruiter? What does it look like for you recruiting anybody good going forward? See, he had to get cut loose. You can't go in and say just hand the ball off. You like a fool. You like a hypocrite because that's exactly what's going on with Shador in Cleveland. You got a man who can't throw the ball down the field, throw it accurately and consistently. You got all of that going on. What do you do? When it's time to get this man his opportunity. Brett Barcelona, he got a career ahead of him, man. If you don't let him have his opportunity, what do you do? What do you do? He trying to get a career. He not coming out and doing that. He trying to let his look good. He can't come in and do the same thing. Unless you keep the same people in. That's what I was trying to say. If you're going to do the same thing, let Salter ride out his senior, let Schumer ride out and leave him alone. That's it. That's it. There's no way you sit there and not allow them to do what they do. So, again, that's my perspective. Juju trying to build for his future. Yeah, he didn't have tackles. He didn't have a lot of things. He played well with what he had. But you got to make sure he going to have what he need going forward, period. How do you ensure him that he's going to not always be scrapped? He's scrapped with resources. You can't have him scrapped for resources forever. So the key is they're going to have to build around Juju. They're going to make sure he had the receivers he need. They're going to have to make sure he have the support he need for him to be able to stay there, or else he can go somewhere where the lineman is there and all of that. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, because it never happened for Shador. It never happened for Shador. Because Shador, we keep saying iffy, but y'all was in control of who you recruited. Y'all was in control of who's going to call the plays. So that's the scary part of, like, you haven't proven you can provide that for an elite passer. You proven you can get them. They proven that they can perform in a raggedy environment, but why not make it easy on yourself and easy on them by giving them the resources that they need? Why not make it easy on Juju by allowing him? Because you see, it reminds you a lot of Shador. If he had time to throw the ball, he was going to find. As long as the receiver, that's another thing. Receivers got stuff. They running routes to the same place. They've been doing that mess all year. It make any quarterback have probably got limited options, and you have to throw the ball out of bounds and all that kind of crap. Because at the end of the day, you got 3 guys running routes, 3 of them running the same spot, and it's like one man can cover 3 people, and then you got 2 other guys sitting there waiting to pick it off. Because it's like these people ain't running, man. They got 5 people in the secondary sitting that waiting. So your quarterback sitting there like, they just sitting back waiting. My dumb receiver just ran right into, both of them ran to the sideline. Well, one quarterback can cover both. And then everybody else just daring you to throw the ball. And you got to go either get sacked or you got to throw the ball away. You tearing up your percentage average. They might need to. They might need to recruit locally. It said Coach Prime, they missed the majority of the guys in the portal this year. They missed. Oh yeah, yeah. Screaming salt shaker. Yeah. I mean, I get the whole thing about Salt, about what he should have been able to do. I do, but I think at the same time, oh, I mean, I ain't just running my mouth. That's why I don't throw numbers out for people just to be. I don't do that. I say what I know. He is an elite passer. I'm from Georgia, like you said. I'm from Georgia. I know his reputation. He's the closest thing to Shador. So he's a passer. If you put him in and hand the ball off, you stupid. And you ready, you might as well send him to another school. He didn't come here to hand no ball off. He didn't come here to hand no ball off. He's a far more better passer than the rest of them. And if he's not, you're in trouble because you don't have a quarterback of the future, and you was wrong about that. But if he is, you're in trouble because now you got to prove to him why he should stay. You got to prove to him why he should stay. If you're not going to give him what he needs, then at this point, why should he stay? That's the problem you got. If you don't doggone get him what he need, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Juju is a 5-star quarterback. That's why I say you got to put some respect on his name, on what he's capable of doing. He's a 5-star quarterback. He's not a 3-star. He's not a 4-star. He's a 5-star quarterback. Every other team with a 5-star quarterback they playing, you should never even got Salter. You should never even got Salter. I feel like you should have, and then that would have helped the team figure out what they was going to do from the jump, because they spent the whole offseason not knowing who going to be the guy. It's just like Cleveland. You don't know who's going to be the guy. And it's not beneficial to the team. It's not beneficial to especially a young quarterback to know if I'm in or out. He's playing like a mind game. You the guy, so get your butt ready. And all y'all go build a relationship with him. And I'm going to do some of that later. I know what else going on with the team. And he revealed that. He said it, but he revealed it. Y'all probably catch. I'm going to do a little video later on about that. But if they had to go ahead and build that thing around Juju, he came a year and a half out of school early. You had to went on and built the thing around Juju from the jump. You would have been straight, because he's mature. I mean, he's not mature as far as experience, but his mindset is strong enough to adjust. He showed you that. So even if he had to struggle the first game or two, he would have been ready to give you a better shot during the whole doggone in your conference games. And he would have gave you the ability to put that ball upfield. Because what you're not going to be able to do, that's what's going on with your boys right now in Cleveland. What you're not going to be able to do, and like I said, you're not going to be able to keep playing people. They watching film on you, and you just going to beat them with those short routes and running against them. Unless you're just a really dominant running team. Now, if you're a team, your offensive line is like that, your defensive line, your running backs is like that. That's what you do, power football. And yeah, but even then, those people be in trouble if their defense can't keep the other team from scoring. That's why I was so confident Shador last year, because like, you're going to have to outscore him. I don't care how great, whatever. You got to stop him, and you're going to have to outscore him. And most teams couldn't do that. And that's Shador them underperform as far as blocking. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm talking about. That's on that. That's I'm gonna get into that because it's been revealed. Yeah, but I mean, he got a staff, man. If it's built around him, you screwed. He was suffering with the illness. He had all his other staff there. Plus, they was in the point of the season where his staff was irrelevant. They was out there with Swayze. It was Swayze body by Swayze. The coaching couldn't do that at that point when he was out. The players was in off-season training. They was in conditioning. So you can't blame coach. He couldn't do nothing. There was no play calling. There was no practicing going on when he was out. It was straight conditioning. Everybody was disrespecting Juju. He not ready. I think sometimes people, and that's Coach Prime may have misunderstood or misjudged Juju quiet. He kept trying to make him scream at the guys. I saw that in well off. Just because people look timid, you got to know these people background. This man, this personality he don't had a long time, and he been successful with it. He's not going to be the person you think he should be. You got to help him be the better person he could be. Juju is not the same type of vocal as you think that a quarterback should be, and he'll grow into it. But you took that as a weakness, and he's not ready because he's not this, he's not that. The people just have to get used to his style of play, just like you got to get used to it. I think Salter is good. I think Salter just is in the wrong system. And Coach Prime got to be real with himself. Coach Prime want a Shador. That's the style quarterback he want. He said he got a model. I want a Jimmy type guy. This. And just be real with yourself. You stepped outside your element when you get Salter. You don't have the you don't really want the type of play that Salter has. You don't really want to run the ball most of the time. He don't like that. He said that many times. And Schumer, it wasn't really built to call for that guy. Now, if you went to a team that mostly run and lean, they only got one or two receivers, and you don't want to got all these receivers, then you be good. You just got to be real with the type of team you have and type of player you want. That's all. It ain't that Salter bad, but you want a passer. Don't try to make Salter to a passer. And clearly, he wasn't able to run like that because he ain't got the kind of line or the offensive scheme for him to be able to effectively run. Yeah, you just want to play ball, and I think sometimes people underestimate when you come and you just kind of like laid back, nonchalant, and people misconstrue that as a weakness. Difference between this year and last year, I was a coach, did a much better job of building. Yeah, and I said I'm gonna get into that. I'm getting to that later. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. I'm not gonna be here long at all. I mean, we know we can talk to we blue in the face on what happened. The reality is Juju is the future. You got 2 games left. Best thing you can do is cut him loose, and build a campaign around your weaknesses. Hey, we got this guy here and we need this. And that's your best bet. Or lose that guy. Because that guy he don't really have no reason to stay here and waste his talent. Show that you can get the lineman he need. Get your butt out there in Colorado, like Matt said, and get them big linemen who can block, who take pride in blocking. Get you some defensive linemen who ain't finna get pushed around. Get you some real linebackers who ain't running around like goofballs, running in the wrong direction, and can't read, can't tackle, and play some football. Because you got a quarterback who can throw. That's good. You passed that. That's something you didn't have or you weren't clear about. Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, it's a lot of things. I'm going to end it here. And I'm going to come back later. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Colorado got some decisions to make. It's off season, right? They ain't even about this, that, and that. It's about the move they make them determine the players that they got now, who they gonna keep or lose, and the type of players that they gonna have to take. They gotta replace 38 seniors, man. So it's gonna be heavy portal again. But the quality of portal gonna be determined by, one, your ability to analyze players, and two, your ability to sell people to come to Colorado, because it ain't Colorado they coming for. The people want to win. And if they feel like you got, like, you same thing with the pros. People want to get up out of Cleveland because we ain't finna win. People got up out of New York Jets. We ain't finna win. I want to win. People not coming to Colorado off of Coach Prime no more. They was coming because Shador and Travis was here. Shador and Travis not here no more. What is your selling point? Okay, you got a Juju. Don't let Juju leave here like Hood and the rest of them now and go and show out somewhere else, because they can get old real quick. They will come for Juju. So you got to sell that. But you can't be all half-hearted acting like Juju ain't the man. Because when Shador came, you said, I got my Louis, I got my quarterback. And that was it. And you should have did that this year with Juju. You shouldn't have bothered with Salter. You should let Staub be the backup, Ponder be the backup, and say, we rolling with Juju. And let Salter go on somewhere else, a better fit for him. It didn't benefit you to be split on them all the way up to the week of the game, first game. Because both of them not even mentally like that, but it's just not beneficial to your team for them not know who's gonna be leading the team, and you splitting reps and all that stuff. This is exactly like Cleveland. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and Greg said, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. We'll be coming back to you another time anymore. Hopefully I get this stuff figured out. Y'all have a good one. I'll talk to y'all soon.